Hi, I'm John.
I'm Matt.
And you are watching
Matt Reviews. And we're back at the old setup, boys.
Well,
girls.
we never had to put up the... There's actually going to be a lost episode of Matt Reviews.
Two.
Well, there's not two, because I still have... Actually, neither one are really lost, because I have them, but we actually have done a Matt Reviews with Matt as either one of, if not the goriest film ever made. I mean, like, it definitely...
At the beginning, I was like, Evil Dead's gorier, but this one's more nastier, maybe.
I mean, like, it definitely has the... I mean, like, it's hard... who knows what the goriest film has ever made, unless you just sit there and, like, counted all the gore scenes. But this one definitely has its name in the running, you know?
Yeah. Every scene has blood in it, almost.
Give you a brief rundown of the plot. Basically, you start out with this New Zealand guy who works at a zoo who is trying to get this, and I cannot remember how to pronounce the name of the monkey.
Sigao! Something like that.
Signana! Something like that. Monkey that's only found on this one island, and they get it.
Skull Island.
Is it Skull Island?
You know what's weird?
Yeah, it's,
I've been to one of my friends' house. He has King Kong the game, and one of the areas that you play as.
Skull Island.
Yeah.
I think it's an Jackson's homage.
To
which is ironic because he would go on to direct King Kong remake. But anyways, they get the monkey and they take it back, and when we get to New Zealand, we start following this young man named Lionel. Who is
oh, we've got to talk about one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Simeo!
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah, that guy gets killed, but they finally get the monkey to the zoo, and Lionel begins to have a love relationship with this young Latin lady named Poquita.
Yeah, Poquita. Yeah, that's right.
And one day she takes her to the zoo, but Mother is spying on her. She's jealous. Mum. She's a jealous old hag.
You'll see, she kind of looks more serious than you think at the end.
And she gets bit by the monkey. And we find out from the beginning of the movie that something bad happens when you get bit by this monkey.
You turn into
a zombie.
A zombie.
And
it's hard kind of. If you read the description, if you have the DVD on the back, it tells you what it means.
But eventually, everyone thinks Lionel's losing it because he starts doing weird things to try to keep all these zombies at bay because they keep piling up in his basement. And one day, his uncle, which I can't remember his name. You remember his name? Something with L too.
How about Uncle L? I'll just remember that.
Anyways, he begins to blackmail him because he finds the zombies, but he doesn't think they're zombies. He just thinks they're bodies, and he thinks Lionel is a serial killer. So he begins to blackmail him for the house and for all the money that he's inheriting. Well, he has a big party one day there, without, with Lionel trying to warn him, but he won't listen. And he unleashes the zombies from the basement. And at that point, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can describe the end of this movie.
Also, isn't there one part where zombies...
Yes.
And then there's a baby zombie.
There's a baby zombie.
Oh my god, it looks ugly.
Alright, man, so this was your first time venturing into anything Peter Jackson other than, like, Lord of the Rings and King Kong.
People will get mad at me when I say this. I know some people are big fan of Peter Jackson's later work, but people I don't like King Kong.
I'm not a fan of where his career went. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like the Lord of the Rings suck because they don't. They're, Peter Jackson.
You shall not pass.
Peter Jackson not only did an amazing job shooting those movies, and they look amazing, but he also did a great job casting it with people like Brad Dourif and Christopher Lee.
my God, Christopher Lee
Yeah,
again.
yeah. But this was your first venture into the early Peter Jackson
Oh
thing. What did you think
my
of Dead
God.
Alive?
I have a couple words. I'm not going to even count. This is all I can describe with it. Gross, nasty, vile, and awesome.
I mean, it is. I mean, like, to say this movie is gory is an understatement. Because it is ridiculously gory.
It's ultra gory.
It is, man. I mean, like, it is a blood-soaked from top
And
to bottom.
ultra violent.
I mean, like, the last 10 minutes of Dead Alive is some of the goriest thing you'll ever see on film. I mean, and this is a mild spoiler, but I mean, like, really, it doesn't matter. There's a scene where Lionel straps a lawnmower to his chest, fires it up, and just begins to run through zombies in blood and limbs and body parts. I mean, like, it is a gory, gory movie.
And I think a bunch of people have heard of this movie. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the most popular horror films out there. You know, it's got a large, large cult following.
Oh, I'm one of the fans.
It's a great. I mean, I've always really, really enjoyed this movie.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I'm never going to eat pudding again.
I think anyone who's seen this movie knows the pudding scene. That's the worst.
Oh.
When she's like picking up the wound and it squirts.
You can even ask him. We were watching it. I was like, oh no!
We were actually watching it with his brother and cousin.
And my cousin kept hiding.
Yeah,
under
he
the
wouldn't
blanket.
watch the movie because it was too nasty for him.
And they both left.
Yeah, they didn't watch the last like 20 minutes of it. But
Oh, last 20 minutes is one of the best.
what do you think about the acting?
The acting, I was saying, is actually really good.
I think it was too. Like I've always heard people saying it's over the top, but I think Peter Jackson was going for that. I think it's supposed to be over the top. You know, it fits
Yeah.
the theme. Dead Alive is essentially a really gory 50s horror movie. You know.
That's what it was going for.
Yeah, I mean it looks like those 50s cheesy sci-fi horror films.
But it's
Extremely gory, you know. Because like it doesn't follow the rules of what has been set by Romero. You know.
no, you get killed by the zombies.
Yeah, you don't have to get bit by them. You have to get scratched or bitten. And shooting in the head doesn't kill them.
There's a different plot behind it too.
Yeah, I mean like
Romero zombies, they started with like a satellite phone or something like that.
they never explain how Romero zombies
Well, that's what it says on the back on the My Night of the Living Dead copy.
started. I don't believe that. They mentioned that, but they never like definitely say that. But like Jackson, like I always felt like this, like I said, was like a 50s monster film, only extremely gory. You know. And it's even set in a time period. I want to say it's the 50s, but I could be wrong, so I don't want
It
to.
is the 50s.
Is it the 50s?
If you read the tombstone, it says 1957 is when
Does
the
it?
what's her face dies.
Okay. So, you know, that's what I've always felt about the movie. Like, and I think it's got a really good, like, an underrated musical score, too.
Yeah, the music score is pretty good.
It's really good. I mean, it fits the movie so well. And, like, all the stuff in it's really good. Like, not just the zombie stuff, but, like, the love story between Paquita and...
Yeah.
That's entertaining.
All the characters are entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great characters.
But there's one guy, the uncle, you'll hate him. You're
Well,
like,
you're supposed to hate it, you know?
chill him. And I'm not gonna say what happens to him because
It is awesome, though. And, man, there are some super memorable zombies in this movie, man. Some of the coolest looking zombies I've ever seen. Like, you know...
the guy with the skin ripped off.
Yeah, he gets the skin ripped off his face. Or the greaser zombie that at the end is like walking on his legs by holding them, and he has no.
He looks like this, no joke.
He has no torso. I mean, like, and of course the gut zombie, which is made up of his guts, where it walks on his kidneys. I mean, I believe it was and someone can correct me. I believe it's called Weta Workshop. Is the guys who have worked with Peter Jackson since his very first movie, Bad Taste, and are still working with Peter Jackson today. Like the guys who did the zombies for this movie are the same ones who did the orcs for Lord of the Rings, and those guys are amazing. And I believe it's called Weta. Someone can correct me, because I remember when this movie Black Sheep came out, everybody wanted to see it because Weta worked on it. Anthony Gore. Movie's okay.
Which one was it? The one that's the Killer Sheep?
The Killer Sheep, yeah. I mean, it's a funny movie, but you know.
It wasn't supposed to be funny.
Well, it was supposed to be, but it was a little too silly. But it had good gore. I mean, Weta does an amazing job with it.
Oh. When I was seeing Evil Dead, I about vomited.
But that's a different kind of gore. You know, this is very cartoony, very, you know, so is Evil Dead, but Evil Dead's got a little more, like, visceral edge to it, you know.
Yeah, it's got this. I'm trying to think, is this one more vile or Evil Dead?
I would say, if you're going to just a volume, Dead Alive is gorier. There's just a lot more of it, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of gore in Dead Alive.
There's a lot of gross stuff in it, too. Like, they definitely try to gross you out with some of the...
Also, this is a horror comedy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I laughed until about cried when... Well, not until I about cried, but I giggled when I seen this. The doctor, he turns around, Nazi patch.
Yeah, and that's something I never noticed till just recently. The veterinarian that Lionel gets his
tranquilizer and poison
from is a Nazi. He turns it around and his suit, his jacket has a Nazi symbol on it.
Yeah. We find that it's eating Papa's birds.
Anyways, yeah.
Interrupted.
That's alright. It happens. Yeah, overall, I would say that this is an excellent zombie film.
Yeah. Well, I seen Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead about vomiting, but this one's probably even more gory than that.
The difference between a movie like Dawn and Day and this is Dawn and Day is more serious, more...
Well, yeah.
Well, this is a lot more cartoony, a lot more over the top, you know.
Oh, did we talk about the light zombie?
Oh, when they stick to But now here's one thing that we may end up complaining about. This was a Blu-ray. I don't know if you knew that.
It was?
Yeah. It's really grainy. It doesn't look fantastic. And I know that Dead Alive was a low budget film. Like before Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings.
You shall not pass!
Before he did Lord of the Rings, he worked on a very limited budget, but man, Lionsgate seems like they just took their DVD transfer and just slapped it onto a Blu-ray. You know, it doesn't look great.
Minor complaint, minor.
And that's not nothing to do with the movie. It just has everything to do with Lionsgate. Which I'm not going to complain about Lionsgate because I've heard Lionsgate did an amazing job on the Evil Dead 2 Blu-ray. So, you know, this came out around Halloween. They probably just, you know, threw it out fast just to make the money off it. You know.
I didn't know it was a Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's so grainy at times. I mean, there's times where it looks pretty good and has a decent, sharp picture, but most of the time it's just really what?
Time.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, we still have 50 minutes.
Yeah, quit bringing up the time in the videos. So, minor complaint. But, so, this moment of truth, Matt. What are you going to give it out of 5?
I'll give it 4.5.
I'm going to give it 4.5 too.
Quit stealing my ideas!
It's a favorite of mine. I love the movie. I think it's now a favorite of yours.
Yeah.
As Matt journeys along his journey through horror.
And here's a good solution. When you watch this movie, don't bring anything to eat or drink with you.
Actually, in Knoxville, I didn't get to go to it, which I was pretty disappointed. They had a Dead Alive screening where they served dinner while watching Dead Alive. They served like a whole dinner.
I'm like, ah!
Which would have been cool to go see, but you know, we live decently far enough from Knoxville. It's not easy to just go. But
yeah.
Anyways, that's enough for now. We both get 4.5. We highly recommend getting Dead Alive. If you can get the Blu-ray cheap and you don't have it already, get the Blu-ray. It doesn't have any special features, nothing on it, but if you can get it for cheap,
because Peter Jackson, I don't think he likes since he's been made. You shall not pass.
All right, guys. I'm John.
The fish jumped.
The fish has jumped. Don't think you didn't say your name.
I'm Matt.
Fish has definitely jumped now.